The Airbus A380 is one of the most iconic aircraft in the world. And even though Airbus ended production of the Super Jumbo in 2021, citing a lack of demand from airlines that weren't mostly able to fill such a large aircraft, there are still many airlines that use them. Qatar Airways is among them. Qatar's national airline is also one of the most recognizable airlines in the world. That's why any news regarding Qatar's A380 instantly gets viral. And this time, it was no different. Qatar Airways' A380 story began back in 2001 when the airline first ordered the plane. Initially, the European manufacturer was to deliver 2 aircraft, but this amount later increased as Qatar added 3 A380s to the order during the 2004 Paris Air Show and finally 5 during the 2011 Dubai Air Show. The biggest passenger aircraft in the world sounded like a perfect choice for an airline that had such enormous expansion plans. Its main competitor Emirates had made the A380 the backbone of its fleet, so Qatar couldn't stay behind. In 2014, the first brand new Super Jumbo landed in Doha, and on the 13th of October, it made its inaugural flight to London Heathrow Airport. The next units were delivered to Qatar in the following years, with the last A380 arriving from Airbus's factory in Toulouse in early 2018. But only 8 months later, the airline's then CEO, Akbar Al-Baker, shocked the entire industry. In an interview, Al-Baker said that the airline is planning to retire its A380 jets on the 10th anniversary of its delivery in 2024. He added that, "Once we have paid our financial obligations, they will go." Now, it's almost the end of 2024, but there is no sign of Qatar retiring their A380. So what has occurred in the meantime that led to the decision being changed? Let's see. In the meantime, please hit the subscribe button below. As everybody knows, a year later, pandemic started, and the travel demand practically collapsed around the world, which led many carriers, such as Thai Airways or Air France, to quickly retire the 4-engine aircraft. Others, including Lufthansa, stored them for the foreseeable future, with the possibility of never using them again. Also, Qatar Airways put their A380s in storage, and with a statement that it is not commercially or environmentally justifiable to operate such a large aircraft in the current market. The airline even attacked the competition, mainly Emirates, accusing them of damaging the environment with the quad-jet. In 2021, the Qatar CEO again stated that the A380 is one of the worst aircraft when it comes to emissions, and that the airline will not operate them for the foreseeable future, and even then, only half of the fleet would be operational. As you see, Akbar Al-Baker clearly hated the A380, as he kept saying that at almost every possible occasion. He also claimed that ordering the A380s was the airline's worst mistake, and that the airline that would keep them would suffer from high operational costs. At this time, many people thought that the aircraft would not fly again for Qatari Airlines. But suddenly, everything changed just a few months later. In November, the airline announced that the Airbus A380 would once again operate some of the most popular routes, but only until the repaired A350s returned to service. It was highlighted that this decision has been made reluctantly, and the 4 giant Airbuses will only temporarily join the airline's fleet. But as you will shortly hear, nothing is certain in the aviation industry. In the next year, Qatar increased the number of operating A380s to 8, as travel demand returned quicker than the airline had anticipated. A few months later, the relations with Airbus dramatically worsened, and Qatar axed the order for 19 A350s. At this moment, there was even a possibility that all remaining A380s would be reinstated. Eventually, the dispute was settled in February 2023, and it seemed that the fate of the A380 was sealed. Al-Baker again announced that the A380s will be gradually taken off from the service starting from 2025. As you may see again, you can expect everything in the aviation industry. In October 2023, Al-Baker announced that he would be stepping down as CEO of Qatar Airways after nearly 27 years leading the company, which has again changed the fate of the A380s in the Qatar Airways fleet. Under Badr Mohammed Al Meer, the new CEO of the airline, everything began to change. And while he said that there were plans to retire the A380s in early 2024, the airlines decided against it. The Super Jumbo is, after all, the best aircraft to fly to slot-restricted airports like London Heathrow or to countries like Australia, where the Qatari airline is restricted on the number of flights. Meer also said that his predecessor's views on the A380 were caused by a different market situation a year ago, which is different today. First class is unique in many terms. Most importantly, it features a lot of personal space. And while it's not a separate suite like onboard Etihad or Emirates, it still provides great comfort to passengers. It's actually quite similar to the Lufthansa one. There are 8 first-class seats in total onboard the A380, which are rather outdated. This is because Akbar al-Baker deemed first class as obsolete and planned to eliminate it at the nearest possible occasion. He claimed that the new Q-Suite business class offers everything that other airlines offer in first class, and he was even mostly right about it, as Q-Suites are a wonderful onboard product. Nevertheless, the new CEO has reversed the decision of the previous management. Now, Qatar Airways plans to upgrade the first-class cabin with totally new private jet-style seats. And while due to the supply chain issues, we won't see it soon, it is still nice to hear that Qatar isn't ditching the first-class concept altogether. In late July this year, Meer said that he would soon see the new first-class seats and that they would be as revolutionary as Q-Suite. The new first class will be also installed, at least on some of the 777X that will be delivered later during this decade. As you may have seen, A380s has never been a popular plane with Qatar Airways. The airline just had around 10 units of this aircraft, and that has been reduced to only 8 after the pandemic. Unlike its main competitor Emirates, Qatar Airways focused on smaller aircraft flying with higher frequency, and this is understandable as Doha is not a popular destination compared to Dubai, so most of the passengers are here just in transit. However, as it was said during the video, some destinations are restricted in the number of flights, and the A380 is a perfect solution to fly to these airports. The most important thing that spared the Qatar A380s from being retired and placed in some desert was the change of the CEO. The previous one, Akbar al-Baker, was opposed to the Super Jumbo and criticized it on every possible occasion. The arrival of new management brought a fresh perspective. The decision to retain the A380s highlights a broader trend in the aviation industry, where airlines are reevaluating their fleet strategies in response to evolving market conditions. With the upcoming advancements in first class and the continued use of the A380, Qatar Airways is positioning itself to compete with other major carriers, ensuring that its premium services and long-haul capabilities remain among the best in the world. Thanks for watching. See you next time.